Greetings pioneers, Jeezy here with another Satisfactory video. This time I'm bringing you a set of blueprints which is going to make hassling with trains a thing of the past. These blueprints will let you run tracks between your factories quickly and in style. From the assembly of intersections just like this one in under a minute, to running tracks along walls, and budget options for any stage of the game, these tracks will make trains a breeze. Starting off with the four-way intersection, you have your centerpiece and your approach piece. The centerpiece you can just snap down wherever you want, with the approach pieces using blueprint mode to snap one onto each of the four sides. So now you've got your intersection, but you can't just lay track on this. You won't get those beautiful curves that we're after. So what you need is a straight set of tracks on all four sides that you can use to connect the inner tracks to. You can do this without a blueprint if you know how, but I'm going to include a couple of my own that I use for this purpose. If you choose to use mine, they also just snap with blueprint mode. Once you've got those in place, you can begin stretching the tracks across, one for each direction. And there you go. You've got a nice, clean intersection. The three-way intersection works in a similar way. You can place the centerpiece down wherever you want. There are two different pieces for the left and the right. You can use blueprint mode for these as well, but you may have to do some nudging. And then use the front approach piece opposite the included edge. The intersection pieces also come with included support attachments, and I've got a couple of support blueprints that you can use if you want this thing elevated off of the ground. I've got variants for 4, 8, 16, and 32 meters, as well as ones without lights. Now that's really all to do with the intersections. As I alluded to earlier, I've got some easy pieces which have tracks pre-placed on them. These aren't just for using as the exterior spokes of your intersections. They're also super convenient for running new lines between your factories. I specifically designed all of these pieces to be a nice, comfortable middle ground, as I didn't like the idea of running my tracks directly along the dirt, but it also took me far too long to agonize over every curve with one of those 100-piece track sets. Wherever applicable, I've tried to do a budget version which only requires materials that you should definitely have automated by the time you reach Phase 3. These ones don't require plastic, as I use regular concrete instead of coated concrete, and they don't have any signs, so they don't require any quartz crystals. And then of course you have the regular pieces which do require plastic and quartz, as well as a third tier which requires computers, which is just the regular one plus signals. So no matter what stage of the game you want to start using these tracks at, I've got you covered. And they're compatible with the support blueprints that I showed you earlier, so you can have them as high as you want, even if as high as you want is completely unreasonable. I'm not here to judge you. Here's a standalone 2-meter ramp for slight inclines, and a piece of track which can be adhered to a wall. And those last two pieces must have been getting pretty familiar because I have a wall ramp piece here as well. I made this one for the express purpose of spiraling down the stone pillar on the north side of the map so that I could get my tracks in a better elevation instead of just running them through the sky. And the straight wall tracks run along that same canyon very nicely. Most of the time you can take these pieces, aim them at the wall with the default build mode, and just nudge them out. But in case you can't, I do have a wall anchor extension for both of these tracks that you can snap into the wall first and toss the track onto. While I was getting all of these blueprint files organized, I came across this old track here. And it's kind of humbling to see because this is actually the prototype piece for all of these tracks, but it got me thinking about a potential use. And so I'm repurposing it as a low clearance piece, as it runs quite nicely through caves where some of the other tracks would be far too high. I'm also tossing in this marker that I use to plan my train routes, and I figured since I have a wall track, I should probably have a wall marker. There are a total of 41 blueprints between these two sets. Even if you only grab one, that's roughly 20 blueprints which will end up in your undefined tab that you'll have to sort out. So here's a quick glimpse at the way I have mine sorted, in case you'd like to do the same. Thanks for watching everybody. If you want to get your hands on these blueprints for yourself, they'll be hosted on a Google Drive down in the description. If you liked the video, please leave it a like, comment down below telling me what you thought, and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more Satisfactory content. All of these things help the channel out tremendously, and these tracks took me a long time to put together, and while they were initially intended only for my personal use, they have seen a lot of polish just so that I could make sure they were worth sharing with other people. And last but not least, if you like what you see, come and hang out over on Twitch. I love seeing new faces pop into the stream, Even if it's just for a minute, to let me know that someone really is appreciating this content. But regardless of how you choose to spend the rest of your day, I hope that it's a good one. And as always, I'm Jeezy, and I'll see you in the next one.